The doctors told my daughter, I have maybe a few weeks left. My heart is giving out. It has been beating for over a century, and it is tired. I am tired, but I am not done yet. I have something to say, and I am going to say it while I still can. I coached girls basketball for 48 years. Same school, same town, same gym. I watched more than 6,000 young women walk through my program and out into the world. I kept notes on every single one of them. Index cards, what position they played, what their grades were, what their home life was like, and then later what happened to them. I have been tracking these girls for decades. Some of them are grandmothers now, some of them are dead, and I am about to join them. But before I go, I need to tell you what I learned, because almost everything you believe about success is wrong. The talented girls, the naturals, the ones with all the advantages, they are not the ones who win. The ones who win are the ones you would never pick out of a lineup. Let me tell you about Stephanie Morrison. Stephanie was my point guard in 1981. Best natural athlete I ever coached in. She could see the whole court like she was floating above it. She had hands that could catch anything. She was faster than anyone I ever saw in a girl's uniform. College scouts were coming to our games when she was a sophomore. Her picture was in the paper every week. Everyone in my knew her name. Stephanie had a full ride to Purdue. She was going to play professionally overseas. That was not a question. That was a certainty. Everyone said so. Her parents said so. The newspapers said so. I said so. You know where Stephanie is today? She works at a call center in Indianapolis. She has been divorced twice. She has a daughter she raised alone. She peaked at life trying to get back to Friday nights in that gym. She tore her ACL junior year at Purdue, never played the same again. But the knee was not what killed her future. It was the fact that she had never developed anything except her talent. She had never learned to work for something. She had never failed at anything. She had never had to be resilient because everything came easy. When the talent went away, there was nothing underneath it. Stephanie called me last month when she heard I was dying. She cried on the phone for 20 minutes. She told me she wasted her whole life. 40 years of regret because nobody ever taught her what to do when the gift stopped working. I am telling you now so you do not end up like her. Now let me tell you about Karen Wick. Karen was on the same team as Stephanie. She was a backup forward. She was slow. She could not shoot. She was not particularly smart in the classroom. She came from a family with nothing. Her father left when she was 6. Her mother cleaned houses. Karen rode the bench most of her junior year. She could have quit. Nobody would have noticed. But Karen showed up every practice, every drill, every film session. She never complained. She never made excuses. She just kept working. Senior year, our starting power forward got pregnant and had to leave the team. Karen went in. She was not great, but she was prepared. She played every game the rest of the season. She made the all-conference team, not because she was talented, because she refused to quit. Karen did not get a scholarship. She went to community college, worked nights at a nursing home, then transferred to Ball State. She became a registered nurse. She has been married to the same man for 39 years. She has 3 kids who all turned out well. She runs the oncology unit at the hospital now. She volunteers coaching youth basketball on weekends. Karen figured out what Stephanie never did. The game is not about talent. The game is about what you do when your talent runs out. I am telling you this because you are probably living your life like Stephanie. You are coasting on whatever natural advantages you have, your looks, your intelligence, your parents' money, your connections, and you think those things are going to carry you. They will not. I have watched this pattern repeat for nearly half a century. The girls with every advantage who end up with nothing. The girls with nothing who end up with everything. It happens so consistently that I stopped being surprised by it decades ago. You want to know what actually predicts who wins in life? It is not talent. It is not intelligence. It is not money. It is not connections. It is what you do when things go wrong. That is it. That is the whole game. Everything else is decoration. The girls who learned to handle adversity, they figured it out. The girls who were protected from adversity, they crumbled the first time life hit them in the mouth. And life always hits you in the mouth eventually. I am getting hit in the mouth right now. My body is failing and there is nothing I can do about it, but I have been hit before. I know how to take a punch. Do you? I had a girl in 1976 named Lisa Hartman. She was in my PE class before she joined the team. Smart as hell, valedictorian, full scholarship to Indiana University. Everyone expected her to become a lawyer. Her mother died of breast cancer the summer before her senior year of college. Lisa fell apart. She dropped out. She never went back. Last I heard, she was working retail somewhere and had been through a string of bad relationships. Lisa had never faced a real problem in her life until she was 21 years old. When a real problem finally arrived, she had no tools to deal with it. Nobody had ever let her struggle. Nobody had ever let her fail. Nobody had ever let her figure things out on her own. Her parents thought they were helping her by clearing every obstacle out of her path. They destroyed her. If you are a parent watching this, hear me. This might be the last thing I ever say to you about raising children. So listen, stop protecting your kids from difficulty. You are not helping them. You are crippling them. Every problem you solve for them is a rep they do not get. Every failure you prevent is a lesson they never learn. The girls I coached who came from hard homes, the ones who had to work, the ones who faced real struggles, they almost always turned out better than the girls who had everything handed to them. Not because suffering is good, because overcoming suffering builds something inside you that nothing else can build. I am not saying make your children suffer on purpose. I am saying stop preventing them from suffering when suffering is natural. Let them fail the test. Let them get cut from the team. Let them figure out how to solve their own problems. The alternative is you raise a 35-year-old who cannot handle a setback without falling apart. I see this in your generation. I see it clearly. You were raised to believe you were special. You were given trophies for showing up. You were told you could be anything you wanted to be. And now you are anxious, depressed, and paralyzed by the smallest obstacles because nobody ever taught you how to lose. Listen to me. Losing is the most important skill you can develop. Not winning, losing. Because life is mostly losing. Life is mostly things not going your way. Life is mostly disappointment and setback and failure. The people who learn to handle that are the people who make it. The people who cannot handle that spend their lives avoiding anything that might hurt them. And when you avoid everything that might hurt you, you avoid everything that might help you grow. I had another girl. This was 1968. Her name was Patricia Okonkwo. Patty, smallest girl on the team, maybe 5'2", told her she was too small. I told her she would get pushed around out there. I told her to try point guard instead. Patty looked me right in the eye and said, "Coach, I am going to prove you wrong." And she did. She was not tall enough or strong enough, so she became the smartest player on the court. She studied our plays more than anyone I ever coached. She knew where every defender was going to be before they knew it themselves. She could not shoot over people, so she learned angles nobody else saw. She could not outmuscle anyone, so she outpositioned everyone. Patty Okonkwo became a two-time All-State center, 5'2". She got a scholarship to a small college in Ohio. She became a high school coach herself for 25 years in Gary. Patty died last spring. Stroke. She was 74. I have outlived so many of my girls. That is the hardest part of getting this old. You bury the people you coached. You bury the people you taught. You bury everyone. But here is what I learned. From Patty and from being wrong about so many girls. Never bet against someone who refuses to quit. Talent is overrated. Intelligence is overrated. Even hard work is overrated if it is not paired with persistence. The girls who made it were the girls who kept showing up after everyone else gave up, the ones who got knocked down and got back up, the ones who heard no and found another way. You can develop that quality. It is not genetic. It is not magic. It is a decision. You decide that you are going to keep going no matter what. And then you keep that decision when everything in your body wants to stop. That is the whole secret. That is what 48 years of watching people taught me. The secret is that there is no secret. There is just the willingness to endure more than the next person. Now let me tell you something else, something harder, and I need you to pay attention because I do not have the strength to say this twice. Most of the mistakes you are making right now are not about working hard enough. They are about working on the wrong things. I watched girls dedicate their entire lives to basketball and end up with nothing because they never developed anything else. I watched girls ignore their families to chase careers that evaporated. I watched girls sacrifice their health to make money they never got to spend. You are probably doing some version of this right now. You are probably working very hard on something that does not matter. You are probably neglecting something that matters enormously, and you will not realize your mistake until it is too late to fix it. The thing about time is that it moves in one direction. You do not get to go back. You do not get a do-over. Every day you spend on the wrong priorities is a day you stole from the right ones. I know this better than anyone now. I am counting my days in single digits, and I can see with perfect clarity what mattered and what did not. The clarity comes too late for me. It does not have to come too late for you. I had a player in 1985 named Michelle Draper, hardest working girl I ever coached. First one to practice, last one to leave, shot 500 free throws a day, did extra conditioning. She was obsessed with getting a college scholarship. Michelle made it, walked on at Notre Dame, barely played, blew out her back junior year, came back to Muni with nothing. But here is the tragedy. Michelle was one of the smartest girls I ever taught. She could have been an engineer, a doctor, anything. But she put all her eggs in one basket, basketball. When basketball was gone, she had nothing to fall back on. She worked at the glass factory until it closed. Then she worked odd jobs. She is still alive, living on disability, alone in an apartment. She told me once that she regrets putting everything into basketball and nothing into backup plans. Do not be Michelle Draper. Work hard, yes, but work hard on multiple things. Have backup plans. Develop